anything at all, there are three ways to which it moves. The first one is called what? An uptrend. Uptrend. Now, these areas I'm trying to explain will lay that foundation you need for you to become profitable for life. If you fail, like on this class, which is day one, if you mess day one up, if you fail to understand this day one class, every other thing I'll be saying from day two and day three will be a waste of time to you. That's why I said it is better you just try to concentrate at least for the next 1 or 2 hours. Okay, because I'm going to break down every single thing, and then there will be a point whereby as I'm talking, and then you feel that there's a need to cut me short and ask a question. Just unmute yourself and say what you need to say, and I'll be listening. You can cut me short at any time. Okay, so yeah, so there's an uptrend. There's what you call downtrend, and at the end you have what? Consolidation. Consolidation. Now, the reason why Forex is very, very interesting is that Forex in this way defines life. Everything that happens in your life is interwoven in Forex. Like if you look at life the same way you're looking at Forex, you stay profitable for life. Now, before I get into this, there are basically 3 sections in Forex that print the highest money ever. Okay? Now, the first section is called the London section. London section. Now, I'm talking about the sections now. The second section is called what? The New York section. And then the last section is called what? The Asia section. Now, the reason I mentioned this section is this. In the London section, obviously, we are talking about pounds, for instance, now. The British pound is one of the most traded currencies in the world. So anytime that, the British banks are open, especially like London, basically, Nigeria and UK time is the same. So we are talking about from 8 a.m., anytime from 8 a.m. Nigerian time, which is basically like, it depends, it can be 9 a.m. UK time. You are expected to see a very sharp movement in the Forex market. Basically, the moves in the Forex market, they become even much more easier to predict. Like they move faster. Like the market moves really, really fast. So let's say I am trading currently and I want to see my profits immediately. The best section to actually trade is the London section. Okay, so this London section starts at 8 and then 8 a.m. and then it ends somewhere around 4 p.m. I'm talking about standard time now. The next section is the New York section from New York. Okay, so the New York section starts somewhere around, we'll be looking at like 2 p.m. and then it can end somewhere around like, okay, let's adjust this to 12 p.m. It starts somewhere around 12 p.m. and then it ends somewhere around like, let's say 6 p.m. And then the Asia section starts at 10 p.m. and it goes on and on to somewhere around 4 a.m. I want everybody to note this down. Today, we are basically talking about the trends you see in the market and the sections you see in the market. This is the foundation you need. Every other thing will be based off all this stuff I'm talking about. So we have London section, it starts 8 a.m., it ends 4 p.m. We have New York section, it starts 12 p.m., it ends 6 p.m. You have Asia section, it starts 10 p.m. and it ends 4 a.m. Now, the good thing about this section is that a lot of traders actually like, I'm about to clear this up now. So if you have not, if you wrote it down, it's good. So basically, most traders actually like trading during the New York section. And I'll tell you why. Remember what we talked about the London section that starts 8 a.m. and it ends 4 a.m. And then the other one starts by 12 and then it ends somewhere around like 6. Okay? So if you notice within these time zones, okay, this 12 p.m. here falls somewhere between this London section, which is here. So that means at 12 p.m., London section and New York section are actually open. And this is where you have the biggest markets in the world. You have the biggest market in New York, and then you have the highest market also in London. So from 12 p.m. all the way to like 4 p.m., I'm talking Nigerian time now, obviously, okay, you are expected to see the fastest movement in the market. This is the golden time of Forex. Okay, now usually for me, I don't actually respect all these zones. But when I take trades, the times I expect my take profits and the places I expect to take my money is somewhere within this time. If it's not getting to this time, I can hold my trade to like forever until it gets to this time. This is where you see the peak of movement. Okay, so ideally, the London and New York section actually converge within this time. Okay, now normally the best time to trade is London and New York section. But if you are trading Asia currencies, like let's say yen, basically yen, okay, you should be looking at trading at night, which is anytime from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. That one is for those who like staying awake. I don't know what they are doing awake. People like me, I don't really get tired of trying to make money as much as you can. But sometimes I have a good sleep after New York section. Okay, so ideally the Asia section starts 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Now the good thing about this, remember what I said. In the foreign exchange market, different currencies are traded, right? So we talked about the pound, GBP. We talked about what? The US dollars. Of course, I'm just naming things you can trade. We talked about the yen, which is what? The one that China uses. Okay, we talked about you can have New Zealand dollar. Nobody trades naira because naira is a useless currency. Okay, like nobody trades naira in this world. If you ever enter into a naira trade, you would not even see anything on your chart because naira doesn't fluctuate. If it's at 363, it's at 363. If it's at 364, it's there. So nobody really trades naira. So the way the pairs are really arranged is that if you are trading, let's say you want to trade the pound against the dollar, right? Now what happens is that the base currency is usually the strongest currency. So in this case, if I'm to trade pound against USD, which currency is higher? It is the pound, right? So the pound will come first, and then you have USD. So in this case, the base currency is GBP because it is stronger. So the stronger currency, the strongest currency, actually remains the first. Okay? So if I'm trading pounds against, let's say, yen, remember, the strongest currency becomes the first. So you have GBP, JPY. Okay? That is the representation of this yen here. We call it Japanese yen. Okay? So if let's say you want to trade USD, US dollars against yen. US dollars is the strongest currency against yen. Yen is a very flat currency. So you have USD against JPY. So this is the way you see it arranged. What I mean, so that everybody will not like feel left out is, let me show you what I mean by that. So you can see GBP USD. So this is a chart of the British pound against the USD. So the strongest currency always is the first. Let me show you the reason why I said the naira is very. Let me show you the reason why I said. Okay, let me show you the reason why I said the naira is a very useless currency. So if I have to check, let's say GBP NGN. In this case, naira. Look at the chart, and then it shows you. Can you see this? Like this basically shows you that there's no activity in this market. Nobody ever trades naira. That is why naira is. You can see that nothing exists in this chart. That is the kind of country you are in. There's nothing to show for it. Okay, but if you have to check like other currencies that have the economy working, I can check even what does South Africa use? ZA. So I can check USD ZA. Abi? Yeah, that's it. So South African rand. Sorry. USD ZA. Okay. You can actually see. You can see the way South African currency is. So basically, You know, you use the strongest currency is always the first. So I can also check British pounds against ZAR, which is South African currency. I can check that, and you can see the way the price is also moving. They're basically moving the same way, I think. US is I'm just seeing this for the first time. I've never traded it, but I feel like I'll have to be looking at this through the week. But anyways, yeah, you can basically see. So this is basically what I'm trying to talk about, okay? So let's go back to this. So to the proper part of this class, we talked about the three ways to which the market moves. The first we said is what? Uptrend. The second we said is what? Downtrend. The third we talked about is what? Consolidation. So the first topic and the foundation to your Forex journey. The first topic is an uptrend. In an uptrend, from the word up, really, it basically means that the market is moving up. That is what an uptrend means. So in an uptrend, what we usually expect to see when it comes to the market is that we want to see the market actually printing higher highs and higher lows. What higher highs and higher lows basically means is the market is moving in this direction. I can see a high here. 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 So let's go to the lows. I can see a low here. 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 So that means the market is printing higher highs and higher lows. Absence of you seeing higher highs and higher lows, it means you are not in an uptrend market. So the first thing you must understand is that in an uptrend, the market prints higher highs and higher lows. This is something I expect you to write down, okay? Because you always refer to this. The market in an uptrend prints higher highs and higher lows. So I'm going to give you a clear image of what an uptrend looks like in your imagination before I go to the chart. If you are on this call, if you're on the call, unmute yourself because I'll be asking you your first question in class. Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. So if I want to try and give you a scenario. So let's say here is your house. And you are being asked to go to the market here. Obviously, let's say you are using an Uber in this case now, all the way from your house here to the market. And I'm the one that used my Uber platform to pay for the trip. So obviously I can see the way you are moving to the market with the car because the map system is all right. And then suddenly on your way to the market, you are going, the Uber is going this way. And then on your way to the market, I suddenly see you make this kind of move. Like you run back to the house immediately without actually looking at this market, without actually getting to the market. Now, in this case, Iffy, what would have happened within this zone? An answer is needed.
Maybe something is wrong there. I forgot something at home, basically.
You forgot? No. If you forgot something at home,
I'll go back up.
Your movement will be like this, back, because you forgot something at home. But but for something to have made you run, like remember, I want you to follow what I'm drawing step by step. This is your house, and this is the market. Remember what I said, you are moving like this. Emphasis on my movement. And then getting somewhere here, you just do this. What is happening here? Like, I had to show you my movement to actually make you understand that this is a sharp run back. So what should have been happening here? Do you really think that you forgot something at home will make you run back like that? I'll give you the best.
Maybe the riot's happening there.
Eh?
Maybe there's a riot happening there or
A
something.
what?
Riot.
Okay, that makes sense. So in this case now, I can easily say that maybe there's an armed robbery, like something that is of very, like something that is of very urgent, like a very major problem is happening there. There might be hurricane actually happening here. There might be earthquake. There might just be a natural disaster, something that can end my life. That's the only thing that can make me take twice the movement that I took coming to that area. Okay, so that is the first scenario. So I've given you scenario 1. So scenario 2, don't worry, in this class, for all the new students, you always have time to talk because it's really interactive, okay? Now, scenario 2, Ify. So you have your house and then you're going to the market. Okay? So you leave your house. Now, in this case, you're not using a car. You're actually running to this market here. And then as you're running to the market, now emphasis on my movement. You run this way because this market is far. You pause a bit and then you breathe. Okay? Now, emphasis, see, I want you to understand the idea behind this, my diagram. Let's say here is 0. Let's say here is 0, which is the area you left. And here is 100. And here is 50. You are running to the market, and then on getting to the market, you decided to rest a bit. And after resting, you rested all the way to like 30% out of the 100%. And then you continued your movement. In this case now, remember here is 0 and here is 100. Going again this time around, here is 50. Naturally just naturally know that the middle is 50, 0, 100. Going again this time around, if he decided to rest so much to this point, so the question to you now, remember that here is 50%. Does this person really have enough energy to reach this market? Like, if you want to stay profitable in Forex, your thinking must be top notch. Like, you have to see, like, let me tell you how to handle Forex, yeah? You must be able to give an answer that makes sense. Like, don't give an answer that is biased. Like, you have to calm down, think about the diagram I just tried to give you, and then you make sense out of it. Remember, here is 50%, here is 50%. Okay, so if you rested this much, would you be able to get to this place? And even if you're able to get to this place, would it be fast? Those are the 2 questions I need you to answer.
If at all I get to the market, I won't be fast, but it's most likely it take me a while, or I might eventually not get to the market.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so what I'm trying to basically explain to you is the movement of price. Now, for anybody that is basically, actually, that answer is very perfect. Now, for anybody that is basically moving, the moment you make a movement and then your rest is more than half of that movement, you are most likely not going to even break past this previous movement you made. It goes in sense with, let's say you are using a battery, for instance, and then the battery, you charge the battery to, okay, what am I even saying? You are using your mobile phone, and then you are doing a whole lot of work. And then when your phone gets to like 70%, you charge it to 100. And then one time your battery gets to 40%, and you are still using it with the same intensity. What do you expect it to happen? That battery is going to find its way to 0 in no time, because the energy level at 70% is not the same as the energy level at 30%. I'm sure I've watched Ify's phone most times. Immediately the battery is at 30%, she does what on her iPhone? I know you always switch it to low battery mode, Abby. So basically that explains life to you. You understand? Like, in that case, you are trying to save enough energy because you no longer have any energy at all. And with that idea now, we can basically break down uptrend in the best way possible. So in an uptrend, price is making what? Higher highs and lower highs. Emphasis on the movement. Now, for anywhere which is the origin of price, in this case, the house I gave in my scenario, that origin is always called what? In Forex, that origin is called support. This is where I need you to write down now. An origin in Forex is called support. Now, remember the scenario I gave, the point where if he ran back, this area that made her run back in Forex is called what? Resistance. Does everybody get that now?
Yeah.
Okay, so in Forex, your house which you left is called support, obviously, because it's supporting your movement. Now, the area that doesn't allow you to break it at your first movement is called resistance. Okay, now this is that resistance. Okay. Now, in this case, what really happens is that as the markets begin to print support and resistance, now remember resistance, anytime if he met a resistance, what happened? She ran back, and if this resistance here, let's say something here is maybe fire, and that fire now, road safety comes around or whatever, they quench this fire, what happens? If he takes a second attempt and passes this price, and let's say she meets another problem here, what happens? She goes back again and waits for the problem to be solved. And what happens? It passes the problem again. Okay? So that's basically how the uptrend moves. Now you have resistance. The moment price, in this case, IFI, coming back to the same area that was affected, the moment price breaks the previous resistance, which is at this level. Okay? Now, this resistance is no longer called resistance. That resistance will now be called what? Support. Does everybody get that now? Does everybody get that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the next question is for John. John, if you are here, please unmute your call.
I'm here.
You are okay. So let's do this together now. John, in this case, what is the name of this area now?
That's the resistance.
Okay, perfect. Resistance. What is the new name called? After this movement happened here.
Support.
Oh, perfect. Now, price went up. Something is really happening here. So what's the name of this area called?
That's the new resistance there.
New resistance, perfect. Price breaks it. What is it now called?
Becomes the support.
Okay, perfect. Now, as I'm defining resistance and support, did you guys notice that for any time that there was a resistance, price eventually comes back what? To retest the area where it came to. Now, I want to now explain the ideology behind this movement of price. The moment resistance is broken, in this case, you can see the resistance, and the price breaks through resistance. Okay? This resistance has not turned support except this price comes back to it and then goes back up. Like the moment this price does not break through it again, that is when resistance automatically becomes support. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does.
Does that make sense now? So that means if, for example, I'm trying to give you a scenario now. If, for example, we are in an uptrend, we are seeing a higher high now, and price does this. This is still resistance. Do you understand? It is a resistance that is about to turn support. But is it an official support yet? No. Because this is one mistake people always make. Okay? Now, when does it turn support? The moment this price does this, and what happens? This area resists it. Then that price will now be called support. Does everybody make sense out of that now?
Positive, yes.
Okay, so the price now what? Resist it and go up. this price is now officially support. Okay, now is this price is still resistance? Has it become support yet? No. When
No.
does it become support? Support. When the price comes back down and retest this area, emphasis on this area, or at least areas within this area. That means if here is my resistance, I'll be looking at this zone somewhere here for a retest whatsoever and a bounce back. That is when that resistance becomes support. Okay, so as this area of resistance is broken, I'll be waiting for price to come back to that zone, and then this area is going to refuse that price before eventually what I can now take an entry for a buy. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let me now take you guys to the chart and let's now make sense out of this. Now, what can you guys see here now? Price is basically making, this is just a random chart, basically showing you guys that everything you basically think about is happening on a daily basis. Sorry. Okay. I'll teach you guys how to use TradingView after on the second or third day. So we're trying to see an uptrend. So what do you say is an uptrend? It must produce what? Lower highs and higher, lower highs and higher highs. So the moment we cite this, okay, and we cite a low, we cite another high, and we cite a low. That automatically tells you that market is in an uptrend. So let's look at it together. I want to draw this diagram now so you have an idea of what I'm saying. The market went up, and what happened? It came down. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, where did it test? Watch. I will show you, because sometimes, look at this zone here. Did you just see that?
Mm-hmm.
This was a previous high, the most recent high. And as he tested it, what happened? That price was resisted. What happened? The price went up. And what happened again? He came back down again. Where did he test? He tested where?
The previous resistance.
And what happened? He went back up. Okay, now in this case now, here, somewhere here now, I'll be like, if the fact that this price did not come down to this level, I will not take any entry for a buy yet. Remember that I've been on a buy from here. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But for me to take any sort of entry for a buy, this price must come here. If the price does not come here, I will keep on riding my profits. Okay? Now, price went up again. And what happened? This is the zone I'll be looking at, this zone here. And you can see that price came back and retested that zone. Can you see that? So basically, the way price actually moves, it is so predictable. Now, when I mean retesting, I don't mean retesting this line. Remember I said retesting that zone. There is nothing like a line in Forex. You are talking about a zone. Because the moment you start using a line, you are now very, very restricted in this case. So let's look at, this is where the price is currently at. You can see that, what's the time? Has it reached 10? I know the market is closing by 10 today. Okay, it's not yet 10. The market will close in approximately 2 minutes. You can see that this market is trying to come down now and retest this zone. In fact, I am not even trying to joke here. The market is going to close by 10. This is USD ZAR. On my life, check it on Monday when the market comes back. The market must touch here before going back up. Because there are a lot of wicks here. It must come down. But the idea of Forex is that people do not have that education. So the moment they see an uptrend, an idiot would basically go and be clicking buy here. And what happens at the end of the day? Because you don't have the education, you will lose all your money just here. You get what I'm trying to say? Here, this is where you lose all your money. Because you are not waiting for the market to play out according to what you want, which is here. Does that make sense now?
Yes.
Does everybody?
Yeah.
If this makes sense, type 1, so that I'll be sure that everybody gets me perfectly. And if it doesn't make sense, unmute yourself and ask me a question.
Think.
Okay, so okay, Ify, sorry, just give me a second, sorry. Okay, so we have with this, I feel like John, you're supposed to type 1 in the chat room, like in the Zoom call chat room, not in the you will not kill me. Oh my Jesus Christ. Anyways, perfect. So let's even check Euro. Oh, this chart there, I had to do like very, very stupid breakdowns, but very soon. Like, it's not basic today, but as soon as, before you are done with the class, you should have an idea of all this rubbish I'm drawing here. It's a whole lot of things. This is, now let me even let you know something. With this basic knowledge of your day 1, I tried this with, this is my 4th, this should be my 4th week teaching, if not my 5th week, I think. And one thing is certain. Okay, one thing is certain. After my first class, people are already profitable because, see, when I learned, and that is why it is very hard for me to be able to like change my ground. Because when I learned, nobody taught me one-on-one like this. Like, nobody ever in this life, after paying $3,000, over $3,000, nobody ever, like, I was reading this thing in a book, and nobody, even in that book, nobody taught me this. Like, I basically had to practice, look at chart, try to look at price movement before I was able to profitably make sense out of the situation. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So nobody really taught me. I only had different notes I was reading like a bad person. And eventually, I had to force myself to make sense out of it. What do you need in this life? You have a laptop. Come on, if it makes you money, you give so much time to it. Like, that is what me I do, for instance. So we've covered this area now. We've been able, this chart you're seeing here is a chart that took 1, 2, 3, these are many hours, okay? But let's even come to this area. You can obviously see the same thing happening. Uptrend, okay, and then the uptrend was broken. So let's talk about how this uptrend was broken. Okay, perfect. So I've asked John. So the next person that will be answering my question now is Victor. Can you unmute your call, Victor? Victor?
Yeah.
Are you quiet? Are you enjoying the class so far?
Yeah, sure. I'm just taking
Okay, perfect. So this next question will be for you. First off, Victor, in an uptrend, what are we supposed to be seeing?
In an uptrend, we're supposed to be seeing support. We're meant to be seeing.
Now, that is not the answer, though.
Okay, we're meant to be seeing higher highs and higher lows.
Okay, perfect. So we're meant to be seeing higher highs and higher lows.
Yes.
So, Victor, this question is for you. So let's say the market does this. And then the market goes up. And going up, are you watching me though? Victor, are you watching? Hello? Victor.
Hello? Yeah, it's breaking up. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah,
Can
I
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you now.
Okay, perfect. So the market
Yes, I can hear you.
okay, the market does. Okay, so the market does this, and then the market comes down like this.
It has broken that support.
It has broken what?
The support.
It has broken now. It has broken what?
That normally that resistance is meant to be retested for
Okay,
it to officially become a support, but it has been broken. Like it didn't become a resistance; it was just more like a fake out.
okay. So now, seeing this already,
Yes.
everybody's eyes, like the people who really know how to trade, will be looking at this level, and they'll be like, oh, like the first question they'll be saying is, oh, what is about happening here is what? An incoming break
In trade.
of structure. I want everybody to note this down. Break of structure. Okay? Break of structure basically means that what you expect to see is not happening. Okay? That is what you call break of structure. Okay? So you're expecting that this area should have been retested, but it was not retested. That means this resistance never turned support. So in this case now, are we still in an uptrend?
I wish it would be in an uptrend. I will wait till this how do I put it? This same structure just that this breaking structure. I wait for it to retest that resistance
Is
before
it here you're
confirming.
talking about?
Sorry?
This
No, no, no,
area?
no, no. No. That point is broke.
Here.
Yes, that area. I'll
So
wait for
the
the one
market
coming
to
down. Exactly. Before confirming.
okay, before confirming, okay, like you had, like I like your answer. That means your previous knowledge of forex is sound to answer that question comfortably. Okay, but while you are waiting on this,
Yes.
I am not. For me, I will not be waiting on that, and I'll tell you why. Now, the reason is this: for price to be able to do this and come back, that is not a possible scenario in forex. The only point where market actually fluctuates is at support and resistance levels. That means for this price to be a break or structure for me, this is this I'll be watching. Because that is the nearest resistance after this resistance that refused to turn support. So in this case, let me just draw this that okay, let me just take my eraser and so in this case, what I'll be watching out for is okay, so what I'll be watching out for is quite easy. What I want to see is that I want the market to come down to this zone. And if it's unable to break this zone, okay, if it's okay, first off, let me start with break of structure. A break of structure eventually happens when this level of resistance is broken. Because the moment this resistance is broken, remember that this was a high. Okay, high. This was a higher high. This was yet another higher high. This is yet another higher high. This was a low. This was a lower high. Okay, so we've seen a lower high. At this point, we expect another lower high to be somewhere around this area. But now, we are seeing another lower high come to the same lower high where it came to. So in this case, there's no break of structure. So when does a break of structure happen? When the previous lower high is broken. This is what
broken and it becomes lower and it becomes lower, right?
it becomes lower. than this point. The moment that happens, this market is selling down. Does everybody make sense out of that?
Yeah.
Okay, now naturally, I'm going to tell you one cheat in your final class on how to know how much the market is going to sell down. Okay, like this will be the first time I'm sharing this with any of in fact, any of my students ever in all 4 weeks. Like this is the first time ever I'll be sharing it. So you must really pay attention to your third class. Like the reason I'm going to be sharing it is because it's something that I've always been doing for the past 3 months, and I have never had my take profits not hit because it is a guaranteed level take profit. So I'll share that later on for how much this is. Because if I say that now, it will make sense because they're at the foundation level. So does everybody get what a break of structure is in this case now?
Yeah.
The year is weak. So I need to hear that year from Victor, everybody basically.
Yeah.
Like should be in terms of
Yeah.
what? In chat room. Okay, perfect. So we basically talked about the break of structure being the okay. So when this break of structure has happened, what really confirms that this market is going to sell down to infinity? What's going to happen? Remember that this was the resistance that was broken. That means for this market to sell down to only God knows where it's selling down to, this market, after breaking this structure, must come back and what? Retest this zone to make it what? Is newfound support. Does that make sense now? Remember that this was resistance before. If it breaks that resistance, it must come back and retest it to make it support before it can go down. So with this, officially, that brings me to the second topic of the day, which is what? Downtrend.
Can I?
Okay, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah.
So once there's a break of structure, it means it's going right down, right?
Once there's a break of structure and a retake
In an uptrend.
broken structure, if you see this, and there's a break of structure, and there's a retest of this broken structure,
It's going down.
this is what you are seeing. In fact, let it not look as if I'm speaking English. Let me show you multiple times, so it doesn't look as if. Okay, perfect example. Market went up, and it could not break this level. This is what happened here. Can you see it? Break of structure happened here.
Yeah.
Did you see what happened? The market came
Yeah,
back.
it came lower than the lower previous low.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is that idea I just taught you now would have given you 1,000 and wait, what useless calculation is this? Anyways, this should have given you 113 pips. Straight up, without you speaking plenty English. This is USD ZAR. God of mercy. I'm going to start trading this. 113.0 pips. Hannah. Anyways, does everybody get that now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see this. Price went up, he could not break it. He came back down, went up again, he could not break it. Where did you see a break of structure here? I see a perfect break of structure here. Did you see how markets went down? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, see, let me tell you something you need to know about this Forex thing. Like the fact that people do not understand that the money in it can save your generation is something that people do not understand because it is so easy. Do you understand? Like it is so, like it's, I don't know how to, okay, let me show you kind of like break of structure. This is advanced anyways, but this is neither an uptrend or downtrend, but I'm applying that break of structure idea. Price came up, came down, yeah? And then watch this zone. Now this is a high. It made another high here. Okay, we are expecting to see somewhat a different high at this level, but price came down back to where it came from and retested this area of resistance here. he came and he couldn't break this area of resistance. And you can see what happened eventually. That is what he gave you free. He gave you pizza money without you. You get what I'm trying to say? But you understand, like I can teach you this from now. Okay. You want to ask something?
No, you were just breaking up. Can you just rewind a bit?
Okay, anyways, so basically for this now, you know, like all traders see the same thing. Or let me not say all traders. All profitable traders see the same thing. But their level of execution of the same trade is what makes others different. Do you understand? Like you can obviously see that price moves in zones. This is an area of resistance. When the price market came down, what happened? It retested that zone. Do you understand? So if I'm selling from here, I would have easily set my take profit on the closest resistance I can see. The closest resistance close to this previous resistance, and that is this resistance here. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, I'll show you another scenario.
Yeah.
If I'm selling from here, okay, at this break of structure, what would I be looking at to take profits? I'll be looking at to take profits somewhere around this area. Do you see what happened there? Is that magic? Okay, I will go ahead. Market broke this resistance. Watch the next level of resistance. Is that magic? Can you see that now? So basically, when people keep on telling me, Kine, how does your take profits keep being hit over and over again? Are you a magician? Well, the truth is I'm not a magician. But like I said, experience comes with time. See, I can teach you this thing now, and you'll be like, Forex is very easy. I will leave you to do this same thing I'm just talking about now, and I'll give you a live account of a $5,000 account. I can assure you that all the new students in this class will get that $5,000 account to $100 within 1 week. Laolu, do you agree that it's possible?
Me, I agree now. Me not the second class. Oh.
Exactly. You get what I'm trying to say? Like it basically means that in as much as you know what you know, okay, you have to be able to perfect your entry. Because what I mean by perfecting your entry is that somebody has already cited a level of resistance. But at the end of the day, what happens? The person might really end up entering into that resistance at this level rather than here. Meaning that if you miss out on this level of resistance, you have no business being in this trade anymore. That means if I see a resistance at this level here, and I came into this trade, and this trade is somewhere here, or like you have no business entering a trade here until it gets to a level of resistance before you will know whether you sell or buy. Same way goes to this level. Same way goes to this level. Does everybody get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. So always sell or buy at the point of resistance.
Exactly. You always sell and buy. See, you must see. If not, Forex will humble you. You only sell and buy at zones. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because
yeah.
You only sell and buy at zones. Like you have no business selling or buying a currency when it is not on a zone. If it's not at support or resistance, see, close your laptop. Like, see, if you don't have a level of discipline, you would lose all the money you work for in your life. That means if I come into the market and I check, obviously I check this zone. Imagine what level of resistance being respected. Let me draw a horizontal line from this distance, and I want you to watch everywhere in the market. Can you see this? You see for yourself. See, they are always respected. Even in the past, you can see. Can you see that? Resistance zones are resistance zones. That is where people enter trades. Or support zone. If it's not either on support or resistance, do not sell or buy. Like if there's anything I want you to take away from this class, that is the only thing I expect you to take away. So we are now entering into